Gotta be true to yourself. In a world there's nothing else. Gotta play the game right, gotta make your path. You scratch, you dig, you lay in your ground. You bustin' your rounds, nobody gon' stop you. No ops, no cops, everything about you. Looking good, you good, she good. Y'all people really wanna know the reason? It's that ripple effect. That's just that ripple. That's just that ripple effect. What you do,
Hey,
come
what's going on?
back.
It's your girl Kid out back in Ripple Effect. You know what it is, and you already know the vibes. I already know everybody wants to get into that Super Bowl halftime talk. Not really much to talk about the game, but I know everybody wants to get into it. But first off the top, I just want to get this said because Hubie Brown, one of the great broadcasters in basketball history, Hall of Famer for sure. I remember growing up just hearing his voice. You know, some of these voices are just so iconic. Excuse me, they were just perfect for the job, made for the job. Did such a great job, and it was back when this you don't hear too many critiques. It's just what they see, just based off the facts. Being able to hear their voice and being able to visualize what's going on, even though you're going about your day, not being able to catch the game per se, or if you have some things that you have to do around the house and being able to hear their voice and call the game, it's been remarkable. So Hubie Brown, thank you for everything. You're definitely one of those iconic voices that I'll always remember and always treasure. It'll definitely be one of those things where I'll be telling stories about that because he's one of those that will be missed and will be remembered forever. Thank you. Appreciate it. And with that being said, just a little more basketball talk. Luka Doncic does make his Laker debut today. Everybody's super excited about that, especially Laker fans, because all I kept hearing for the first half of this season was how they were not a serious organization. Everybody was like done with them. They didn't know what to say. And this was on numerous podcasts that I watch. And a lot of these podcasts are very LA heavy natives. So they were not happy with the Lakers at all with anything that's been going on. So I'm glad that they actually have a future now. So, I mean, shout out to them. But yeah, we're gonna get into the game. We're gonna talk about the Chiefs and the Eagles and or we could just talk about the Eagles because there wasn't really much to say about the Chiefs. I mean, that's just unfortunate. The better team definitely won. The more talented team won. I told you guys before, the Philadelphia Eagles were more talented. Not just running the ball, they were better on defense. They had better receivers. They were better in every facet of the game. The only thing they didn't have was Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Personally, I didn't want to bet against them. That's when everybody was like, "Who are you going?" I don't. I'm a Giants fan. I don't have necessarily a dog in the race. I know some people just don't want the Eagles to win. We're in the same conference and all that, and yada yada. But honestly, after what we did to Saquon, there's an exception to every rule, and this was it for me. I mean, people could feel however they want to feel, and they're definitely entitled to that. But I was rooting for Saquon all the way. I was hoping that, honestly, I mean, I want to see him win, bro. I mean, what we did to him with the whole franchise tag for the last, season that he actually played with us, and then saying, "Oh, we'll just let you test the water." So we just let this guy go for nothing. It was just terrible, bad business. It was definitely one of those moments when you can actually see why players do what they do when they choose to sit out, when they choose to not be a team player. No, I mean, you know what? In this league, they like to use like the business line. Oh, it's just business, not personal. Okay, bet. So when it happens to me, it's gonna be business. So let's keep that same energy on both sides of it. All right, let's not just keep that energy when it comes to the players when they have more to lose. When obviously an organization doesn't. I don't know why we tend to feel bad for organizations instead of the individual players. Crazy, nasty work. Do better, guys. Stop blaming the players. Saquon did everything right, in my opinion. Total professional. I'm just glad it was a full circle moment for him. And when I think about a full circle moment, guys, it's like in order for it to go into your favor, you have to be disciplined and you have to be faithful. And a part of that is just trusting the process. Some people don't want to hear that. Some people think it's just now probably getting to the point where it's just cliche and or people just fatigued in hearing it. But that's what it really is. It's just going through that process of life. You're gonna end up exactly where you're supposed to be. Don't worry about the past. Don't worry about how the organization treated him, like he or if it's for you, don't worry about how people treat you. Like, it doesn't matter. Just stay true to yourself, stay disciplined, stay professional, and watch how far you'll go. And look at that. And then look at what a difference a year can make for this guy. That's exactly what he did. He did nothing but play hard, do his part. He admitted it was weird playing for the Eagles. I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it. He said 6 months ago, I didn't even like the Eagles. I didn't even like this team. And I remember in the interview, he was saying like I didn't even care for Nick Sirianni, like, but he gets over there and he's like, I kind of understand the philosophy. I love these guys. I mean, they fight, they play hard. I mean, Saquon was doing some things that were just even Madden had to be like, oh, this dude really is a real life cheat code. We got to add this to our game. Like, I mean, it's supposed to be the other way around. You know what I mean? Like, that's unbelievable. It's supposed to be the video game having an imagination of what these players can do, but Saquon's out there doing things that are just out of this universe. Like, it's just unimaginable. And it's just been incredible. But it's just a testament to his not only his talent, but it's also his hard work. So I'm definitely happy that he got the Super Bowl trophy. He got the Super Bowl win. He got the Lombardi, all that. And yeah, I don't want to give props. I mean, I'm sorry that I'm sorry, but Jalen Hurts, man, he did that thing, y'all. He did that thing, bro. Like at the end of the day, when y'all said he couldn't throw, y'all gonna start putting him in that conversation, that top 10 quarterbacks for real, for real. I mean, the Chiefs had a game plan. I know a lot of people were like, oh, the Chiefs didn't know what they were doing. They had a game plan. And it worked relatively well. It was to stop the run. Saquon only broke away, I think, like one time for like what, 20 yards, maybe 25, something like that. They had a game plan. The problem is they didn't have any in-game adjustment game plan. Like that's what you need. What are you gonna do if we find out that Jalen Hurts can throw the ball? And that's no shade on Jalen Hurts from me. I'm just saying, like, this is what they have been saying, and they made it completely obvious. And they pretty much game planned for Saquon so much to the point where they didn't even think, it didn't even cross their minds that, what happens if Jalen really goes off and really starts throwing the ball? Well, what would that look like? And what would we do to stop it if that's what happened? What happens if AJ Brown puts down the book? What happens? Nope. Didn't even think about it. And you know what? It showed because the game got so out of hand, guys, it didn't even matter. It got to the point where, I mean, this is probably the first Super Bowl that I honestly paid way more attention to the halftime show than I did the actual game. And I don't think I can honestly say that about any other performer because usually the game is usually pretty exciting. And even if the Super Bowl, like the halftime is exciting, usually I'm kind of like, okay, it was cool. But obviously I'm here for the game, but the halftime's cool. But to sit there and kind of be so blown away by the Super Bowl halftime show, I kind of forgot about the Chiefs and the Eagles to be completely honest with you. I mean, guys, I mean, I don't know how much time or if you guys only just saw it one time and kind of made up your mind about it and that was it. I mean, you can't do that with any art and expect to be able to appreciate it, right? Especially if you don't know the artist or if you're not really unsure what he represents or if you don't know his lyrics. I know a lot of people are complaining like, oh, I don't know the lyrics. You just put on those subtitles real quick. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. Sometimes that needs to be done. But guys, to not understand the genius and the beauty and the impact of that iconic performance is so egregious and disrespectful. I can't even almost deal with y'all at this point. I just can't. Not entertaining enough. So we're saying we can only tolerate entertainment is if girls are up there half naked, if guys are rapping about dancing with said girls and doing all these things. Like, so that's the only way we can enjoy entertainment. And I know you're probably going to go back to Prince. You know what? But he's not Prince, guys. Okay. And Batiste is not Whitney Houston, guys. Okay. Let's just get that out the way. When you look at a performance, stop trying to compare it. What do we always say? Comparison is the thief of joy. But y'all keep doing it though. Appreciate the artist for what they have to deliver. Whatever message, whatever it is that they're trying to do. Why do you think that they tell you who the artist is going to be like a month ahead of time? Show of hands. I mean, most of you guys have smartphones nowadays. Nobody's going to Google, nobody's going to sit there and say, "Hey, maybe I should figure out who's going to be doing this halftime." Because since everybody seems to be so into the halftime show, and rightfully so, I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but if you're so into it, why wouldn't you? If you're like Kendrick Lamar, oh my God, Kendrick, who? Like, if you don't know, Google what's going on. Why is he so popular? What's going on? There's a beef. Oh, wow, beef. What is that? That's number one. I mean, if you care, right? But if you don't care, but then why have such an opinion on? But don't get me wrong. If you didn't know, I mean, it's okay, guys. It's okay to not know. But some of you guys with some of these like harsh, saying it was trash. I think that's ridiculous for you to say something is trash without even knowing anything. I mean, to even be invited to the Super Bowl, to do the halftime show is it's an honor. It's an honor that not many people, have the opportunity to do for a number of reasons. And there's been a number of artists who've declined to do the Super Bowl halftime show for many reasons because they didn't want to chop up their songs. I think it was like Andre 3000 was like, "Yeah, I'm not chopping up my song because of the time," or Adele because she was like, "Yeah, that's not about music." And I'm starting to understand that because and I love Adele, by the way, love her, huge fan. Hello, you know, but it's like I couldn't understand like why wouldn't you want to do the halftime show? I don't get me wrong, she's popular enough, international. Not that she needs it, but I would have loved to have seen it. You know, I would have loved to have seen it. But when she said it's not about music, I was like, hmm, you know what? And this was before, I believe Jay-Z and Rockefeller took over um, the music side of the NFL. And I was like, you know what? She kind of has. I didn't really think about it until after this performance and after all the comments that I was hearing. And I just couldn't believe it. And it made me actually think about what she said. And I'm like, you know what? It's not about music. You guys are not going to appreciate the art. So she didn't bother because I mean, but don't get me wrong, I'm so glad that Kendrick Lamar bothered. I'm so glad that he was willing to shoulder all of this, all this weight because I'm pretty sure he knew what was coming his way when it came to this and not just with the whole Drake thing and how I mean everything was just it was so masterful. I don't know how you don't appreciate that. I mean, the floor, looked like a controller, a PlayStation controller. Crazy genius. And PlayStation, is owned by Sony, and that's who Drake is signed under. And it was just like Drake had the golden gun, you know what I mean? And he was just sniping away. I mean, you want to talk about game over, like the end of the performance, and even when he had in the crowd, I think it was warning wrong way, like speaking like the US is headed in the wrong direction in terms of the way that they're thinking and the way they're going about things. And I'm like, dude is killing it right now. Like he is crushing it. And I'm just like, everybody's missing the message. And this is coming from someone who watched this multiple times. I didn't just watch this one or two times. I even watched a couple of podcasts from all different sides of it to try to get to see people's different opinions about it. I mean, at one point when he had just the black women walking behind him, I'm like, oh, he's trying to protect black women. When he has Serena up there, I'm like, she's from Compton. I know people want to get messy and just kind of just say, it's because that's Drake's ex. And I mean, couldn't have been like a double message, like a double entendre. Could have been. But I'm like, she's from Compton, though, guys. Like, if you want to be messy, I mean, she does have two kids and she's married. I mean, she's just being petty about that. I don't know. Maybe I don't know because Drake did say something about her at one point. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, just the performance was masterful. The colors. They said they were trying to signify each set, like the Bloods and the Crips, and the white was supposed to be the peace and how they were coming together. And at one song where he was like, they were kind of losing their way, but then they came back together, with DNA, right? I mean, yeah, I think it was Squabble when they were against each other, and then he played Humble. Oh man, and with Samuel L. Jackson's cameo, bruh, like they went in. Oh man, like I'm sitting here thinking, like, how long? Man, like, I mean, he didn't even have that much time to put all this together unless he had an idea, and said to himself, one day if I ever get an opportunity, I'm gonna put all these ideas together. And then when that opportunity came, because that's one of the things I've learned, especially in this type of business, if you're in that fast moving media type of business and you're trying to get places and you're trying to get people to hear you and market you, man, you got to be ready. You have to be ready for the moment. It's not about somebody giving you an opportunity. It's about you being ready for that opportunity. And man, was he ready when he had this opportunity and he executed masterfully. So to call that trash, like you could sit there and say, you know what? I don't agree with it. Maybe I don't understand it. Maybe it's my ignorance. Maybe it's my bias. Maybe it's just my foundation's all messed up. Whatever it is. But for you to sit there and say this is trash is is crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. The levels that he went to try to break down to you what's going on in the world right now, what's been going on in hip hop, and what he's trying to do to change that, what he's trying to call to people to wake up, pay attention, turn the TV off. Peekaboo, bro. I mean, I'm not sure if you heard the new album, but please go listen to it. Please. It'll only make you appreciate that halftime performance even more. And I'm not gonna not acknowledge this. The way he teased Not Like Us, saying that, oh, they trying to sue us though. And then comes all the way, like full circle back to it, drops it a little bit, and then drops the oh man, like it was amazing. And I'm telling you, if you only watched it that one time, you're doing yourself and also the artist such a disservice. You should watch it multiple times. It's really not that long. It's only going to give you a greater appreciation for what he did. And it was one of those where it was like, I'm getting this message out whether you like it or not. And I know a lot of people were feeling like this was not the stage. No, this was a stage. When you're giving an opportunity to speak to, we said what? This was 126 million people. This broke a record. This is the stage. This country is all about protesting, all about it. Why? Because it doesn't fit your agenda now. Like that's why. This was a peaceful protest. And given the state of where things are right now, it was absolutely warranted. Absolutely warranted. I mean, the fact that he was able to accomplish a personal, beef along with a global one and a domestic one is it's just crazy. It's just crazy, y'all. Just go back and watch it. I'm telling you, you're welcome. It was incredible. I've been talking about it all day. So I'm sure I left more parts out that I was able to figure out, but just go watch it. And if you find out something that I haven't pointed out, please let me know. I would love to know to gain even more of appreciation for what he did. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable, folks. And it's just a shame that even though he was calling on to all of us, that this was something that we all couldn't appreciate as Americans. I mean, it is Black History Month too, right? Whether some people want to acknowledge that or not, and to understand Black history is just to understand that it's actually American history. It's just seen through a Black lens. That's it. It's just that simple. It's just stuff that unfortunately you wasn't taught in grade school. I wasn't either, by the way. My mom actually spent a lot of summers with me and my brother, or my brother and I rather, and we went over the inventors. We went over it wasn't just MLK, we learned a lot. So I'm glad that people are actually bringing attention to things, and even you'll see on my socials, you'll see Katrina B, which is Facebook. I'm gonna put some inventors up every now and again, and some people will comment and they'll say, "Hey, I didn't know that," or "Hey, I remember doing a paper on them way back in the day," and that's awesome. But unfortunately, a lot of schools are not doing that anymore. So a lot of it's just getting lost in the sauce, you know, and that's why this performance was so important. It's to open up a conversation. It's the conversation that nobody ever wanted to have. It's a conversation that nobody wanted to do anything about. Kendrick Lamar told you at some point was like 40 acres and a mule. This is bigger than the music. It's bigger than the music. There's plenty of other songs he could have done. Plenty. I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan, and there's a couple of songs that he could have done that I would have definitely appreciated. But this wasn't the time for that because I get what he was trying to do. This is a bigger calling. I know some people say like, sports and trying to get away. No, we always say that the sports is supposed to be the ultimate unifier, right? To unify everybody. Well, we're never going to be unified if we don't understand each other. If we make that effort to try to understand each other, man, where we would be, it would be crazy. But like I said, I had a good time, even though that was a blog game and usually can't stand blog games. That's usually the one thing I ask. When my team is not in the Super Bowl, just not a blowout. I want to see a good competitive game. And you know what? This is the first time that I can honestly say I don't care because the halftime show was just that good. Like I said, I hope you guys go back to try to see it. Don't do it for me, do it for you. And for you guys who don't know who Kendrick Lamar is, still don't care. I'm telling you, if you have kids, particularly teenagers, ask them. Promise you they'll know. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. Kendrick Lamar is famous for a reason. He's one of those guys that's unapologetically, I'm gonna say what I need to say. I'm gonna say what needs to be said, and I don't care what or you have to say about it because it just needs to be said. And if I don't do it, nobody's gonna do it. So I appreciate that 100%. Now, I was gonna talk about my Knicks, but it's too late and I don't want to get upset right now. But at the end of the day, we need to get back to not only the basics, we need to get healthy. Can't properly judge this team without all of our guys at 100%. Can't really do it. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. And you know what? For my sanity, I'm gonna leave it there. But when it comes to all these other teams, we just kind of have to wait and see. I'm gonna watch more film. I'm gonna see who's really standing out right now besides Boston. Boston's just Boston, y'all. Extremely dominant. mad we got slaughtered the way we did, but Boston is good, y'all. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But guys, I appreciate you guys for listening. You guys catch me on the socials. Remember Instagram, that's mindsport_K dot. And I need to start getting back on TikTok. TikTok had us a little worried over there, so I need to start getting back on there, start posting more. But you guys are gonna see me start a little bit more. I mean, I'm gonna try to start doing more of these because unfortunately, when school starts up again, it's going to get tougher for me to start coming on here. But I'm gonna at least try to drop one episode a week. That's always been the goal. But I only ask y'all to do one thing: losses equals life lessons. Peace.